recognize the man everybody knows, Ron Gunter. So leading off, a gentleman that used to work at the Westmont Park District, hired me when I was 13. I don't know how many times you called my house as the Westmont Police Department, but Ron's college roommate and one of his dearest friends, Steve Grimes.
Actually, before I hired Bobby, I was his coach. Ron got me into coaching the first time, and we coached him when he was a 12-year-old Little League All-Star. So how about it? Turned out okay, too, I think. So, yes, he hasn't grown much, but anyway. Anyway, I'm Steve Grimes. I used to work at the Westmont Park District for about 11 years, and it was a great experience there. But I have to tell a few stories first. Can you hear me okay out there, or am I too tall for these mics? Too tall for the mics. Okay, I figured. He said just speak up. Here, I'm going to move it a little bit. Okay. Yep. All right, that's better. Let me start all over again. No. If you missed the joke about Bobby, it was a short joke, but you've heard them all before, so. Anyway. Well, you know, it's a different view from here.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, it's great to be here. I first met Ron Gunter about 1974. It was August of 1974. That little lady there was with him when I first met him, and she's been with him ever since, his wife, Tony. But she was in the room that day. First day we met as college roommates at George Williams College. We both got recruited to play basketball there, 1974, and Ron and I played a few games together. God, I couldn't tell you how many games. We should have counted, huh? Anyway, through the years, I've known Ron in a lot of different roles. Met him, like I say, first at George Williams College in 1974. Got 3 other guys sitting over there at that table that also played basketball with Ron, and I think they got a couple thousand games played with Ron in basketball too, so we've had some great fun together. But I'm sure many of you have known him in different roles, different names. So he spent about the last 40 years here in this community, but he started off in the Chicagoland area in a little town, Stager. Moved his way up through Bloom Township High School, I believe. And amazing what he's done with his life, it truly is. When you think back to where he started and the things he's done, it truly is amazing. He's now the director of the Westmont Park District for about another week, I think. And then somebody else is going to be stepping into that role. But I just want to kind of mention that a lot of you know Ron as Ron, or the mayor, or Director Ron, or whatever, but some of us knew him as Buford. Buford Pusser, that's right. I was at a party up at the dorms at George Williams College. Ron had graduated, he was going to grad school, and he was a dorm director up there. And there was a pretty good party going up on the 3rd floor in E-dorm. Ron called up and said, "Can you hold it down a little bit up there?" And somebody on the phone that answered had a kind of a smart response, and so about 30 seconds later, Ron was up 3 flights of stairs with a baseball bat and said, "If you guys aren't in your rooms in the next 10 seconds, I'm going to start swinging." So they quieted down pretty quick. So anyway, there's a lot of other stories I could tell about Ron, but most of them I can't tell in front of the kids here, so I won't talk about the RV trip to Kentucky. I won't talk about the stories from Peoria, or even before I knew about that barn down in the Heights, but that, you know, never mind. All right, I'm going to ask you guys to a little audience participation. I want you to raise your hand if you knew Ron as one of the following. All right, if you knew Ron as a brother, raise your hand. Got a couple there. All right, how about husband? Good. How about uncle? Father? Co-worker? Godfather? He's a godfather to one of my kids. I'm a godfather to his. How about neighbor, teammate, coach, fellow volunteer. God knows how many different committees and clubs he's been involved with over the years. And he served those roles in an unbelievable capacity. Recently, he's been mayor of Westmont. How about that? Who would have believed it, huh? Oh yeah, and disco dancer supreme. Yeah, everybody knows about that probably. But one of those roles that he served for me was as a mentor. Really, I was kind of a shy guy at one time, believe it or not. It's true, until I met Ron. And so, I have to tell you the truth, I'm up here wearing size 16s, but I don't know too many people that have left bigger footprints around their community than Ron has here in Westmont. Truly amazing what he's done for this community. He's touched a lot of lives. Ron's passion for his family and his community and life in general has been just really inspiring to me, and I know a lot of you out there as well. It truly has. I'm happy to be here today, and I'm happy to have known Ron for, I think, about 42 years now, 43, and been able to work with this guy and experience life with him in a lot of different roles, as a lot of you have. So I just wanted to be one of the first ones to be up here today to congratulate Ron on his 40 years with the Westmont Park District. And I don't know who's next, but I'll let Bobby introduce the next person, but let's give Ron a big hand to start with.
Next, Sue Friend from C-SPAR.
And our tradition continues. I always follow the tallest speaker. It happens at all C-SPAR events. I used to work with a guy who was 6'4", 6'5", and so I figured I would have to reach for the mic, but it was handed to me, so this is kind of cool. C-SPAR's been incredibly fortunate over the last 40 years to have a lot of experienced and talented people who have supported them. And I can't think of anyone who in so many ways has supported our organization more than Ron. And he's been around for all 40 years of C-SPAR's existence. I'm gonna miss picking up the phone to hear, Sue, Ron, I need to tell you something. Got a question. I wanted to let you know that, whatever. Well, Ron, I want to tell you something. And I want to tell everybody else a few things too, that you have been an incredible ambassador for C-SPAR and certainly for people with disabilities for 40 years. You made sure that C-SPAR was a part of your Park District's regular agenda. Your commissioners were well informed about what our organization was doing. You ensured that our summer kickoff party has every detail covered. In addition, for those of you who don't know, Ron is the drill master of C-SPAR. I don't know that we're going to give you emeritus status. In fact, I think we want you to come back and do it. But anyway, he has cooked thousands of brats and hot dogs, which I know he has for a lot of you people too. But we appreciate that effort as well. He's made C-SPAR a partner in a grant application that would have benefited the Westmont community as well as the C-SPAR participants as well. And in his newer role as mayor, he proclaimed C-SPAR's 40th anniversary at one of the village board meetings. And most recently, he asked C-SPAR to provide singers for the national anthem for next week's Race to the Flag here in Westmont. For those of you who don't know, Ron has served on the board of directors longer than anybody else in C-SPAR history, and we have some people who put in some years, but he served 2 hitches. He retired the first time, and then they hired me as director, and he immediately said, I want to come back on the board, which I wasn't sure how to take that. I have a feeling he thought I needed to be reeled in just a tad, and he was probably the person to do it. But put his 2 terms of service together, and he has 23 years, which is pretty impressive. Now, Ron may not be E.F. Hutton, but when Ron spoke at a C-SPAR board meeting, people listened. He didn't talk the most, but when he talked, it was something people needed to hear, and he had listened to everybody else's positions before, and then he made his point. When he became executive director at the Park District, he established himself as an incredible link between C-SPAR and the Park District, and he created opportunities for C-SPAR to be a part of the Westmont community in many ways. He also spent a lot of time with me early on in my career to be a mentor, to help me better think through actions and possibilities and ask good questions so that I was clear and defined on what I was going to try to do. He's developed a great core of people here at the Park District to carry on now that he's going to move a little different direction. He's been a good mentor to a lot of people in lots of different ways. And I know he's worked to make sure that the Park District's going to keep on going, and I think, Ron, they're going to make sure that you're real proud of him in the future here. So I want to say, on behalf of everyone associated with CSPAR, congratulations to Ron on a 40-year career at the Westmont Park District and for 40 years of support of CSPAR. At this great time in his life, he's making a change to put his priorities where they've always belonged, with his family. And I think working grandparents are a bad idea. And so I want you, Ron, I hope you do everything that makes you the happiest. Good luck. Yeah, I know. Actually, I do have a little token of affection here. You want to hold this? I think that's the most incredible piece. There we go. Got it? Ooh, I guess I'll take that back. We have a Community Partner Award certificate for Ron Gunter. It shows him at the grill with Steve Thomas, who I know is also here, for his incredible recognition for his valuable contributions to CSPAR. Ron, thank you.
And next, all the way from Springfield, the Honorable State Representative, Patty Bellick.
Thank you very much, and I'm excited to be here tonight because I drove back from Springfield yesterday, but then I drove all the way back down to Peoria today, and then all the way back here, so I put on my natural about 350 miles in 2 days. So I'm excited to be here with you, and I want to thank all of you from the Village of Westmont and the Park Districts for including me tonight in such a special honor for Ron, because he is such a special person. I work with all the mayors in DuPage County, but especially in my district, of which I have 8 of them. And I work with all the Park District, the heads of them. And I will tell you, as all of you know, that Ron is one of the best of the best. And I just appreciate knowing him. I think I've known him for almost 15 years now. And it's kind of true what Susan said, is I see him as a leader, not with a heavy stick, but with a leader that listens to the people and then makes a decision and leads in the right direction. So I won't go on and on like the speaker at the last event I was on, who went on for an hour and a half till there was only one person left in the front row. And when the speaker got off, he said, "Can I ask you why you stayed?" And he said, "Because I'm the second speaker." So anyways, I'm going to read the resolution that I had written up by the state of Illinois, because I think it's so special, and I'll try to read through it fast. I don't want to keep any longer because there are a lot of speakers, but this was offered by me. But anyways, it's whereas the members of the Illinois House of Representatives wish to congratulate Ron Gunter on the occasion of his retirement as director of the Westmont Park District on May 31st, 2016. Whereas Ron Gunter was hired by Westmont Park District on May 15, 1977, after graduating from George Williams College with a master's degree in Park and Recreation Administration. He spent 6 years working in the recreation field to help pay for college, and he's worked nearly 40 years at the Westmont Park District, 37 of those as director. He told me earlier, he said, why would he move? He was happy in his job, and I thought that was great. During Ron Gunter's tenure, the district grew significantly. When he began, there were only 3 parks and a community center. Since that time, the district has added 14 neighborhood parks, a 9-hole golf course, a fitness and racquetball club, and a 36-acre community park. And whereas Ron Gunter has served the community as a volunteer and a coach, he's been a Rotarian for 32 years, a Lions Club member for 36 years, a CSPAR board member for 20 years, as we just heard, and a high school basketball coach for 15 years. Whereas Ron Gunter has helped bring organizations, municipal agencies, and service clubs together over his 40 years for the sole benefit of Westmont. He is a tireless volunteer and an advocate for the community. And whereas Ron Gunter has served on numerous committees throughout the years, including the 75th Anniversary Committee, the 100th Anniversary Committee, and Promote Westmont Commission. And whereas Ron Gunter was an active member of the Illinois Park and Recreation Association early in his career, and whereas Ron Gunter received the Citizen of the Year Award in 1988, 1996, and 2009. Whereas Ron Gunter plans to stay involved in the community through his role as mayor of Westmont, and whereas Ron Gunter is husband to Tony, father to Brad and Natalie, and a grandfather, he has managed to remain hands-on and involved in all phases of his family life, especially with his grandkids, while leading his incredibly active career in this community of Westmont. Whereas this retirement party will be held in Ron's honor on May 21st, and be it resolved by the entire House of Representatives of the 95th General Assembly of the State of Illinois, that all of us congratulate Ron J. Gunter on his retirement as Director of the Westmont Park District, and we wish him the best in all his future endeavors, and be it further resolved that a copy of this be presented as an expression of all of our honor and esteem, signed by Patricia R. Belloc and Michael J. Madigan. Thank you very much, and I just can't say thank you enough to all of you, and Ron.
Okay, we have a quick change in the lineup, kind of a pinch hitter. He begged me and slipped me a 20 and said, "You got to let me speak." So, 20. I had to give the other 5 to my wife. Okay, Jerry Simpson.
Thank you. It's been an opportunity that I've had many times to acknowledge the Westmont greats, and with a little poem. I call them odes. And I would, before I begin, just like to say one thing. Every night or every morning when I go into my garage, Ron is there, because those yard signs that Ginny and Ron had for the last election are still in my garage, and I think they're planning on running again. All right, ode to Ron. Westmont is our home. It's where we all roam. The parks are arranged, and now we're in for a change. The district began to thrive when Honorable Ron Gunter did arrive. He's more than the best. He aced every possible test. He brought a vision to our land. He was always in full command. Where we are today will always stand, because Ron Gunter is the man who should be so very proud, evidenced by this applauding crowd. We can't thank you enough for all this living stuff. Everyone needs just to look around. Westmont is Ron's kind of town. I always felt Mr. Westmont fits Steve, my dad. On the 21st of May, I'm so very glad to have this opportunity to say, Ron Gunter, Mr. Westmont, you've earned that title too. From all of us, to you and to Tony, thank you.
Thank you, that was well worth it. Our next speaker, Commissioner of the Park District and Lions Club, current President, John Karish.
Thank you. I'm wearing my Lions Club hat tonight, but I just want to take a moment and about Ron's retirement. The bad news is he's retiring. The good news is the coffee bill is going to go down at the Park District, so we're going to have some extra money. Yeah. As you know, Ron, he serves on many, everybody said everything already, so many organizations, but at the Lions Club he's been 36 years now, and club president twice, I believe, 3 times, and he's always given it his all. It's my true honor tonight to give this award to Ron. Westmont Lions has only honored 2 other Lions in the history with this particular award. Dr. Renee Reeder and Jim Addington couldn't be here tonight, and they would be giving this award tonight. And in the award, there'll be a letter for you, Ron, that explains the details on it. But Ron has earned the Lions Foundation of Illinois Fellowship Award. This is a very prestigious award. As I said, it's only been given twice. And it's in the Lions Club, and a generous donation on behalf of him. So it is my true honor tonight to present this to Ron. Okay. And now, moving forward, I'd like to introduce Bob Fleck.
What are you looking at, Grimes? We're not here to talk about Steve Grimes. We're here to talk about his roommate, Ron Gunter. And I'm very pleased and honored to be here in front of you, sharing some thoughts and some memories on behalf of the staff of the Westmont Park District. Now, we've all been preparing for the big transition as Ron approaches his official retirement on June 1. Well, as part of that, I've really been considering, what do I need to do to be more director-like in my actions, my speech, and my appearance? Well, just the other day I was walking past my future office and I decided to take a closer look. And while doing that, I saw the closet in the corner of the office, the secret closet. I decided to open up. And there it was. The official Westmont Park District director's attire. Styrofoam coffee cup off of Dunkin' Donuts. Gray Westmont basketball sweatshirt. Swish pants. And basketball shoes. So I decided I'll try it on. So I had to look in the mirror and strike a few, very concerned, serious poses, drinking my coffee. And I had heard this summer, as my nephew got married, his new bride's grandfather, 81-year-old grandfather, is an 81-year-old retired four-star general. So he's holding court at the rehearsal dinner, and somebody asked him, how did you become a four-star general? And he said, very thoughtfully, I drank a lot of coffee, and I looked concerned. I thought that was great. So, I tried that a few times. But as I was doing it, I realized something was wrong. I know, it's pretty obvious. It's the wrong color. Okay, it's the Sox color. Ron and I are both fans, but I'm more of a blue and orange kind of guy. Well, as I looked a little bit more at myself, I realized that wasn't the only problem. You see, I'm just a 2-cup of coffee kind of guy. Ron, he's a 2-pot coffee kind of guy. But that's before 11 a.m. After 11 a.m., he cuts back to 1 pot. So, cup's gotta go. And then the sweatshirt. Well, it's kind of obvious. I'm a medium. Ron, he's a double XL. Then the black swishy pants.
Oh no.
Yeah, comfortable. I mean, really, really comfortable. Kind of comfortable that, you want to do the George Costanza, hide under the desk and take a nap comfortable. But, Ron's 6'4". I'm 5'6". So, can't keep those.
Thank goodness.
What a relief.
And then there's the basketball shoes. You see, Ron's a basketball guy. As you heard, loves the game. In fact, he was a gym rat. When Ron was first hired and then worked early in his career over at the community center, he kept the gym bag and basketball shoes ready to go. It was a very common occurrence when a sweaty junior high kid would come running up to the front counter. Mr. Gunter, we need another player, Mr. Gunter. You've been asked that a few many times. Well, Ron, in his own special way, used this as an opportunity to build relationships and be embedded in the community with everyone from little kids to adults. So, Ron has big feet. Even if I did, I couldn't fill those shoes. So, those have got to go. Now, as we've been going through this transition, which has been more a couple years than months, we've all been a little bit worried. But throughout, Ron has reassured myself and the staff that's out here that everything is going to be okay. He's reminded us we're not him. We're going to do things differently and in our own way, but that's okay. So Ron, for that, we thank you very much. Now, that's not the only thing Ron is known for. As you've heard, community service. Ron has been a member of many service organizations. He has been, I forgot my notes. I thought I had this. Okay. It's Ron's belief that we should have a purpose and make an effort to improve our community no matter where we live. His involvement in memberships and service clubs, his hands-on effort and leadership needs no explanation. We've seen it and experienced it for nearly 4 decades. His belief and spirit in those things has marked everyone that's worked for him. And for that reason, we follow his lead. The other big thing Ron has done is he's made it fun to come to work. Ron has always said, if we're not having fun, how can we expect the community to have fun? Coming up here in the director's attire wasn't because of anything I've done or I do. It's because of Ron. He's created an environment built around fun in a work. Somebody's stealing the show here. That's Sophia, by the way. He's built a work environment for all of us that's both satisfying and rewarding. But there's one other fact about Ron that not everybody may know. When he started, not all the agencies in the community got along. Park, the village, even the school. Not everyone shared the same vision and interest. But that soon changed. There were some key individuals I don't know who this is harder on, Sophia or Ron.
That's how the staff feels about it leaving.
You gonna be okay? Okay. Just a little bit longer. So, Ron, if you ask me, what are his 3 legacies in gas staff? It's fun. It's the culture and the environment that he's created for us to come to work every day. We look forward to going to work, and we look forward to going home. Number 2, it's community service. Have a sense of purpose and work to improve your community every day. And number 3, peacemaker. He's brought so many individuals together over his 40 years to work for the betterment of Westmont. So Ron, on behalf of staff, we would like to present you with this token of our appreciation. It represents loyalty, leadership,
trust, and the ability to come and go as you please. And you're going to need it now that you're staying involved in special events. It's just not our master key, it's the A key. The prize key that opens every door in the Westmont Park District. It's only taken you 40 years, but Ron, here you go. It has been an honor and a privilege working for you, and I look forward to carrying forward your legacy. Speaking next, this individual, I'm in awe of anybody who serves their community as a volunteer for 43 years of their life. This person, I'm happy he will be enjoying life at his home in Michigan, but I'm also sorry that I will not have the opportunity to work with and for him on the park board. Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner Robert Bob Furness.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, I was the only board member still left here that hired Ron back in 1977. And he became a full-time director in 1980. We've done many, many things. We started out, when I joined the board, we had no full-time employees. We had 3 parks. We had a $72,000 annual budget. And things didn't really get going till we floated our first bond issue. But the thing I want to focus on tonight and congratulate Ron is the fact that we as a board and people in this community do not realize that Ron is a master at finance. And without finance, without money, our park district would not have grown like it has. I think it's the unknown thing about Ron. It's never talked about, but he is so good with numbers, and he has helped us to grow like we have. Like Patty mentioned, all the things we've accomplished over the years, this wonderful building, Ty Warner Park, all the parks we have, and our community buildings and so forth. But without Ron, this would not have happened. And I'm here to, on behalf of the board, to compliment him on his knowledge and growth and his ability to work numbers so that we could build this park district into the system we have today. We've got 5 board members here that have a combined service of 160 years, and I defy any park district in the state of Illinois to match that record. Ron is carried over as mayor, and he's done some of the things that to the village that he's accomplished for the park district. Just one example, when he decided to become mayor, one of his first recommendations to the village board was to float bonds. And any of you who live in Westmont know that the massive street repairs that have been going on. Had Ron not come along and decided that it was time for the Westmont community to issue bonds so we could repair, and we've repaired about half our roads in 3 years. Again, this points up what I've been saying, that Ron is a master at working the numbers, and we at the Park District, we have to be very appreciative of this. And we have a little memento here, Ron, for your desk at the village. Okay? Thank you very much. And God bless you, Ron.